What's going on, everybody? Horseman here, and today I'm going to be bringing some more of that Torchlight 3 early access. It is, as stated in my previous video, it is now available on Steam, and it's like $29, and just, I gotta say, it is early access, okay? Despite the fact that they had a very long alpha, very long beta, there was also a lot of development hell going on, as I stated in my last video. So they are still trying to work out some issues. So if you are looking to buy into this early access and expect a completely finished and polished game, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So I just want to make that very, very, very clear. Okay, so we are still testing this for a lack of better ways to put it. We are still testing this. I mean, even if you look right here, I mean, it says big updates are coming soon in early access. That's great. We're looking forward to it. They are not done with all the content right here, and that's fine. That's fine. But at least now we can get started. There was a lot of issues earlier today with servers, login, authentication issues, trying to get everything, squared away. So, we're working it out. We're working it out, but so far, it's been great. I did want to show you, I started to make a new character just to see if it was like my character issue or not. So I made an engineer. I will be playing that engineer at some point in time because I wanted to give the character another go, and we'll get there. But for now, I still love the sharpshooter. So here we go. What you are going to see right now is I'm a little bit further into the game. Now, granted, not much farther because I had to redo that whole first quest again. I had to kill Yapper again and everything. But I got past that now, and now you can get a better picture for what to expect when you're in town. So, in town, you're going to see everybody else. So, in this case, like earlier, there was a whole lot of other people. So, it looks like I'm on a pretty empty instance right now, but this is where you're going to see other people. In early Torchlight Frontiers time, you are not only seeing people in town, but you're also seeing them when you're out and about. You were competing for kills, you were competing for resources. It wasn't horrible, but it was just enough to be annoying, especially when you knew that it was alpha, it was beta. Very, 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 very few people were actually on the server. So I am so glad that they not only changed it to where that is not the case anymore, where you don't see other people when you're out and about, but at some point in time when this game actually launches, you will have the choice to go straight up single player. Now, for folks who really like to play single player experiences like myself, that's great. For multiplayer experiences, you know what? That's it's of course going to be there. You have that choice. You have the choice to make hardcore characters. So I will probably do dabble in a little bit of both, depending on how many of my friends play this game. But I don't know. I'll probably be playing offline more so than on. Yep, just keep hammering away. You'll get there. All right. So I lost my portal. So I'm going to have to go back and walk to where I was. I'm also partaking in a yummy drink. I hope I'm not going to freeze up here again. Oh, man. Some folks have been having a hard time getting into the woods from town. I hope that's not the case. Ah, good. Got some apple Crown Royale and Sprite. Makes it taste like a apple jelly, Jolly Rancher. So good. My favorite flavor, Jolly Rancher. Okay, so not much has changed in my character development just yet. still don't have access to the fort just yet. It's always real slow just to pick off those onesies and twosies. Alright. So, to show you what has been updated is this right here. I got a new bow. But there is something else I wanted to show you. I found out the hard way that in this game they have something called Lifebound. I thought it was going to be something like Soulbound in World of Warcraft where you just can't trade it. That's what I thought it was. You cannot trade that that item to anybody. Doesn't matter if they were with you or not. That thing is bound to you. That's not the case. As I found out during the beta, I had about 3 or 4 pieces to include my weapon, a hat, and like a pants or something like that. And they were all part of a set. And I died. And when I tried to go back in, I noticed not only am I naked, but I have no weapon. And I was so confused. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And it turns out that Lifebound means that if you die, those items get destroyed. So this item right here, Scroll of Unbinding, you're going to want to make sure you hold on to those. Especially when you get one of those Lifebound items. You can use that to remove that curse, if you will. And I do call it a curse because it sucks when you don't have a backup set of gear and you die. And usually that Lifebound gear is not something to sneeze at. It is some good stuff. And it was. I was wrecking face with it. And I died, and I'm not gonna lie, it made me turn off that beta for a little while because I was just really grumpy. And I fully understand it's a beta; it's not meant for progression. I was gonna lose it all anyway. But you know what? I had very little money to buy new stuff, and I was at a point where acquiring new stuff through quests or killing stuff was all but impossible. So I was just like, screw it, I'm done. Again, I've been in this intro area now for a couple years because of the beta character wipes, the alpha character wipes, and yes, I'm aware I said them out of order. But you get my point. See a few people on right now. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're liking what you see. If you have any questions, feel free to type it in the comment section below. I will address it. Again, this is early access, so there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be a little bit weird. Potentially. I don't know what that is.
You have died.
But I do now. Shoot. Alright, let's go back to level entrance. That's new. I had never seen mobs blow up after death like that, so it's good to know that that exists in this game. I was wondering, I was like, what are those fuzzy, flashy balls? Alright, shrine. Missed a shrine. Okay, so something I was talking about in the previous stream before I got rudely interrupted by maintenance and, you know, the developers actually fixing the game.
Humans are back.
Hold on.
Stop messing with rats and push humans and see. Anybody don't want to fight can take it up with wide load.
You say wide load? Alright, anyway. What was I talking about? Oh, materials. So, what you need to do is keep those materials. You are going to need them for later on when you get into your fort. So, just want to make that very, 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 very clear. All right. See, do I actually have a... All right, we got a question here. Well, I'm still wondering if it's worth to buy early access or wait a little bit more. Holy smokes. You know, $30 is hard to drop on an early access game. I have a lot of trust with Torchlight. So, and it's right now the most expensive Torchlight that's ever been made. So it was actually pretty hard to drop that much money. on an early access game. But considering how much time that I'd spent with the beta, I know that there's potential. But with that being said, I think it might be, if you're on the fence, I would continue to watch streams like this, continue to watch videos that come out before you make a decision, because there are issues with the game. There are certain gameplay mechanics that I'm not a huge fan of, and I haven't seen enough of the end game content or even mid game content to really be able to answer whether or not that it would be worth it. Me personally, I like the aesthetic. Hey, what's up, Eubanks? I love the aesthetic of Torchlight. I love the cartoony look. I love the gameplay, and the company that makes it typically does a really good job with it. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm really hoping that they don't bite me in the butt. I hope that answers your question, Mataray. One thing I do love is being able to take those guys as soon as they come out of the hut. They're just like, hey, I'm ready to come kill you. And then they're dead. I was actually kind of hoping that early access would still be free. You know, again, I'm not a huge fan of the whole pay to test the game for them. I think it kind of should be the other way around. But at the same time, you know, if I'm ever selected for a beta or an alpha, I feel privileged. You know, it's an honor. It's like, all right, you know, they're actually choosing me to do this. I get on when I can, but I don't always have the ability to get on. And then on top of that, I mean, if it's just not a fun, you know, game, then it's hard for me to play. Wolcen was kind of like that. You know, I mean, in the early stages, it was just hard to play. I mean, it was hard for me to sit down, to sit there with what little time that I had, free time, and dedicate it to something that I didn't enjoy. I wasn't getting paid to test it. I was just trying to provide input when I could, if I could. But when what was it, their beta, like right before release, a couple months before release came out, it was like a complete overhaul, and it was outstanding, and I loved it, and I couldn't put it down. So I think they needed to release it as it is now. Diablo 4 is coming out later this year or early. I don't think we're going to see Diablo 4 later this year. I really don't. I mean, when Blizzard themselves say it's not even Blizzard soon, that's got to tell you that we're probably not going to be seeing it this year. I would say we'll be lucky to see it by BlizzCon 2021. I mean, right now we're just getting quarterly updates, and they're only doing that to shut us up. I mean, you figure just them announcing it. Just them announcing it was them basically saying, "Shut up! It's on the way. We know we messed up in 2018. You know, trying to announce Diablo Immortal like it's our flagship game, and now they had to show something for their work, and they had to give something to Diablo fans, especially with Diablo 3 kind of dying." And it really is. I mean, even this new season, you know, they're coming out with these new sets that just are very unimaginative. You know, they're just trying to feed on abilities that nobody used because they're not considered beta or meta. And personally, I think that now, if there's ever a good time to experiment with non-set item legendaries, now would be it. I think now would be a great time for them just to say, all right, let's go ahead and start making some really cool items for Diablo 3 that are not set items, and see how well they perform. I mean, it just sucks because they'd have to be completely and utterly OP because of the crazy, stupid percentage increases that we get on set items. Oh, we got 10,000% boost to this ability's damage. And you're just like, it's hard to pass that up. It's hard to say, nope, I'm not going to use that. I want to use something else. Mataray, you know what? I'm an ARPG fanatic, so I play whatever ARPGs I can get my hands on. I mean, I've been testing Last Epoch. I tested Wolcen, Torchlight 3. If I can get my hands on it, I'll try it out. I mean, especially if the aesthetic captures my attention. And yes, aesthetic catches my attention probably first and foremost. Last Epoch is one of those that kind of breaks that mold, because Last Epoch is an ugly game right now. It looks very PS2-ish, but its active skill system is by far the most intuitive that I've ever seen in any ARPG ever. So, I mean, I'd say the only one that even comes close to rivaling it would be PoE. Just because, I mean, you have so many ways that you can customize your active skills, almost like crafting. I mean, it almost seems like they did a great job with it. Wolcen, I just really enjoy that game. A lot of people don't, but I do. What did I just get? A chronometer? Was ist das? A legendary focus. My first legendary is a focus. Can't use it because I'm not a dusk mage, but I can put that away. Yes, the Herodic Cube recipes were a lot of fun, and you would be happy to know that when Diablo 4 comes out, they're reintroducing something that's been lost to us for quite some time. Now, granted, it's not necessarily the Herodic Cube, but if you remember, we had rune words. Runes are coming back, and this time it looks like that we're going to be slotting them into equipment, kind of the same way we've been doing with gems in Diablo 3. Yeah, Herodic Cube recipes were pretty cool. I was never really good at those kind of mechanics. I just kind of did things and saw if it worked, but I also only played the game for its story more so than anything else. Like, I didn't really get into game end game. I just kind of played it for what it was and was done with it. If I got a legendary, great. I never got to max level, and I certainly never played online. That I could never do. There's too many hackers, especially like that one guy, Eubanks. I don't know, he had these crazy paladin hacks. One thing I will say about Torchlight 3, it's been heavily upgraded from Frontiers. So I think that people who might have been on the fence about the game, from how they were explaining the MMO-ish nature of Torchlight, if you had any reservations about that, they did a lot to change it up. I had a lot of reservations because it was just like an ARPG should not be an MMO. Path of Exile, I thought, was about as close to an MMO as I wanted any ARPG to be, because I just don't think that they need to be.
I'm grateful for your help, but that sounds like a stretch. It's dark in those caves.
Especially if you got a good character, got great abilities. You only got one person killing all the stuff, so it's like, why do you need 4 people killing the same enemies? It just didn't make sense to me.
Giant purple
it's part of the reason why I don't play Borderlands with people too. But
long ago they invaded our
I don't know,
world,
just
but the heroes of
not
the past
big fan with people. It's fun to make ethereal items indestructible.
We have to change
not
the
hacked.
general's mind.
Tweaked with air quotes. Tweaked.
You have collect proof that the Netherim threat is real.
I gotcha.
Bones, hides, skulls, anything you can find to convince her.
All right, what did I just get? So I got new pants. Potion luck. I like the. What do I have equipped? Okay, I like the extra physical damage. It's a lot of extra health. But this I need to hold on to. Can I put that down there? Yes, I can. I need to hold on to that for a while. And I will sell this other stuff.
Potions for you? Potions for your little friend?
What is that? Oh, okay. All right.
See you next time.
Cool. Yeah, well, you know what? Diablo...
If you have money, I got gear.
It's not just the runes that were too easy to tweak offline. I mean, that was pretty much anything in Diablo 2. I mean, it was extremely easy to tweak anything. I mean, even down to to the stats. I mean, there was no anti-cheat
The passage
software
has
in
been
that
blocked
game. There
since
was
we
no
were attacked by the
regulation to what
Snobskin
someone
tribe.
could not do. People weren't getting banned for it. I mean, you can just as easily get a trainer and start using using it to boost up your stat points and whatnot. And honestly, no one could know the wiser. It was like the wild west. Oh yeah, and Stone of Jordan, well, at least by the footage that we got so far, is going to be making almost like a Diablo 2-ish return to Diablo 4. I mean, yes, the Stone of Jordan is in Diablo 3, but it is not that great. So it turns red after I cleared it? Well, that's fantastic. That is a new thing. I need to go to Travail. Where am I? Okay. It was fun. Absolutely. Not that I would actually be playing this game and then, you know, talking up other games, but if you like good fun, something that you can just pick up and put down, not looking to dedicate hundreds of thousands of hours into end-game content, I would recommend Minecraft Dungeons for what it is. It is definitely geared for a younger audience. There's not a lot of depth in character development. Matter of fact, there's zero character development other than the gear that you are wearing. And there's not really classes. You know, I think that's one of the biggest issues I have with the game, besides the lack of content in the game. But, you know, when they advertise, we're like, oh, there's this person who's got a bow. Here's another person who's clearly a mage. And then you got that big armor-wearing dude with a hammer. Yeah, don't think you can just go in there and be a ranger, you know, like a sharpshooter or a demon hunter. You can't. That, ooh, what's this? That is definitely not what you're gonna get. You are limited on arrows, very limited on arrows, and the only way to get more is through drops that are very seldom, especially at higher difficulty levels. To be a mage, that depends on what relics you have equipped, and there's only three slots, so that means 3 spells, 3 abilities. And there are no abilities, by the way. Any abilities that you do have come in the form of those artifacts. But again, it's fun. I played on my own just for shits and giggles, and I play with my boy just for fun as well. Neither of us take it too seriously, so I'm trying to get him into playing Torchlight 2 with me on the Switch. What do you mean? How does it work online? Like, what's the system? What system? Like for multiplayer? There's a party system. So when you're in town, you can you do have the ability to communicate with others, and through the area chat. There's also a party function. Let me see if I can go back to town real quick. Just take my portal. It's good though. You went to 4K video. I probably will hit my first 4K gaming when the PS5 comes out later on this year. Can't wait for it too. Woo! I'm sorry, but I love how it looks. I know it looks like a router. I know it looks really weird to some people, but I absolutely love how the PS5 looks. All right, so I'm going to go, Mataray, I'm going to go back to town and see if I can't get a hold of that, the answer to that question of yours. So I do know... once this thing stops loading. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of people here, and there is an area chat. And if I'm not mistaken, I can push the... nope. Oops. The P button, which allows me to invite people if I know their account name, friends, or I can also just go to this radar, whoever's nearby, and just send out invites. Or send friend requests. So you can form parties this way. It's not something I do. I am very much a solo player, and it's very funny that I say this because in Diablo 3 I run a clan. But I rarely play with other people. For Borderlands 3, it's hilarious because I play alone, but I run a Facebook page dedicated to the game. So to get people connected, maybe not for myself, but definitely for other people to share their stories, to share their experiences, and I need to go back to my portal, and to share what drops they get, to see if they can form teams and whatnot. So, and I definitely share information. So it's kind of hilarious how that works. I hope that answered your question. I thought I put my portal on the other side of this bridge. I did put my portal on the other side of the bridge, right? Wonder why it brought me all the way back there. How's the game volume? Can you guys hear it at all? Or is it just like all my voice and that's all you hear? Because my first video, you could barely hear me, and all you heard was me killing stuff and those dumb goblins just chatting away. Ooh. One thing I have noticed this version of the game versus earlier versions is that there was a lot more like audio files that you can get and listen to a little bit of lore. I had no idea what they meant. There was no real context to the characters or why I should care about them. And I gotta run. But it was kind of interesting. Oh, I got a rifle. Oh. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Looking forward to getting some more abilities. That's probably, one of the harder things to really deal with the character progression in this game is you level up your abilities this way, but you have to dump a certain amount of points. I mean, you only get like one ability in this tier, and you have to dump a certain amount of points before you can get the next one. Fire 3 piercing shots, each dealing. What's the difference between this? What is this? Onslaught. Rain down a hailstorm of arrows from the sky. Did they get... Oh, no. It's way over here. Heartseeker. That's a good one right there. Heartseeker's a good one. And reload is now useless. See, that's what's funny. I think they went too much, and I don't know if this is what it's going to be. As I was saying before, in the alpha and the beta, it was almost impossible to keep this full. But now the regeneration is much higher. I would have been long out of ammunition, and I would have been stuck for a long time trying to figure out how I was going to kill stuff. So I'm just sitting there, plink, 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 with my regular and waiting for this to come back. And as you can see, this comes back real quick. So I don't really know what the point is going to be with reload now. Maybe I'll give it a shot. So I don't understand, like, fire 3 piercing shots, each dealing. I get that, but I wonder if this is going to be better. What do you think I should get? Targeted strikes or onslaught? What do you think? Or there's also more abilities. I can ghost visage. All right, drop into spirit realm and reappear in a new location. So it's kind of like blink. That's actually a really good ability. I will say, especially for someone that's kind of squishy, that's a good ability. Goblin Legion sounds cool. Your next 3 precision skills will summon an additional goblin. It's almost like fetishes. Still haven't figured out exactly how this works. I guess your pets level up as you do. Use your relics and then get legendary powers as well. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Onslaught. Like the whole... Let's try it out. Let's try it out. Get a new ability. Okay, so it lasts a hell of a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I thought it was just going to be like a quick shower down, done. But no, that actually lasted a while. I like that. That did not work like that in the beta. Okay. They overhauled a lot of these abilities. I'm glad, because they needed it. Sharpshooter abilities were terrible. There is this one, they had this one ability where you shoot, it sounded great because it's like, I'm going to shoot this arrow, lob it into the bad guys, and then it was going to explode doing massive amounts of AoE damage. And that's basically how they sold it. But it was a projectile that moved slower than molasses, and the damage it did was on par with your regular shot, your basic shot. And the only benefit that it did was that it was AoE, but it applied a burning debuff on the enemies that did like 1 or 2 ticks of damage before it was up. So it was useless, and I complained about that ability. But the which one's a paladin-like skill? The Rain of Arrows? Every time I zone into a new area, I'm so afraid that I'm going to end up getting booted off the server. Every time I've gotten booted off the server, I have to start over from the beginning. Okay, here we go. Alright, okay. Onslaught's pretty fun. Okay, so this is where your fort would be. So I guess I'm going to end up destroying this later on. But this is your fort. This is where we get it. I guess I got to free my fort. I love the fort idea. It's one thing that if I ever stream, I'm going to have to not do my fort stuff. I'll do a little bit, but I'm not going to go all out because I get really OCD. You know, I take away all trash, all clutter, and, you know, I try to make things as, like, perfect as possible. Nope. Okay, yeah, I definitely like Onslaught. Oh, this dude hits pretty hard. But surprisingly, though, you have to be kind of close to do it.
You have finished a quest.
Yeah. Standing. Let's see what kind of... Okay, I got a focus and a staff. Nothing useful. And that dude just died again. He was just like, I'm not done dying. I'm getting an Oscar out of this motherfucker. Alright. So, go back to town.
You can't cast that here.
Well, fine. I guess I'll go here. Alright, so I will say that there has been some vast improvements over the beta. And that's good, especially with the sharpshooter. I look forward to checking out the engineer just to see if they've done much to improve that class as well. The thing I didn't like about it is, I mean, like, range classes are always real clunky in the beginning. I mean, they're super clunky, you know, very slow, just plink, plink, plink. I mean, Demon Hunter in Diablo 3 starting off at level 1 is atrocious. So, especially in the early days, if you ever played a Demon Hunter in vanilla Diablo 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it was just like, it was almost like an achievement in and of itself if you actually got it up to level
Hey there, looking for a new buddy?
got it up to level max level. I think it was 60 back then. Yeah. If you did that, good on you.
Going so soon?
Yes, I'm going so soon. The pets that you're selling are just basic pets. Respec. That's actually a good question. How do you respec? Can you respec? I think... Oh, okay. So, yes. I'm actually glad I read that because respec is not that great. So, you do have the ability to respec certain points, but you have to collect... You have to collect respec
Good job
points, and
clearing out that
however many
abandoned fort.
respec points
The
is
goblins
how
will
many
return
points
if
you
we
can
leave
take away from your
fortifications like
already
that up
learned
for grabs.
abilities. So if
So
I
why
have...
not call it your home?
If
I
I
bet
wanted
you
to get
could
rid of
even
an ability,
spruce
but
it
I've
up
got
to better suit your
4
needs.
points into that one
Quest
ability,
finished.
I have to have 4 respec points to get rid of it completely. That sucks. You know, and I have to
You have a
admit
new
that
quest.
I'm not a huge fan of any game
Quest begun.
where character development is important to your progression and you don't have the ability to respec. I mean, I think that the whole purpose of games like this is it should be the freedom to try out different things. If you're going to give me an entire wall full of cool abilities and whatnot to tinker around with, I shouldn't have to have a calculator or a million
haven't
characters
slept
to
in
try every
days.
single one of them, especially as updates come. There might be certain abilities that get nerfed that were no longer any good. Now you just basically tanked my entire character, and I think that's trash. It's one thing I do love about, well, not one thing, I absolutely love Borderlands 3, but I do love Borderlands 3 for that. Take it easy, Eubanks. I always say make that plural because of the S that you put at the end, even though I know exactly who you are. Alright, so I'm hoping that I get a bit of a tutorial for my fort now because I want to start using it. I want to use my stash and to give you guys a quick look at your fort. One thing I thought was going to be really cool about Borderlands 3 was like, yeah, you're going to have a room that you can customize, and you go in there and you look, you see that you have a whole wall full of different guns you can put on mounts, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool, just kind of show off your thing. And Claptrap even says, hey, you know, I might come back and grade you on your decoration skills, and he never does. And then you only have 3 hooks in shadowy areas in your room that you can actually put decorations that you can barely see because of those shadows. So it makes the room completely pointless. But this fort here is definitely not like that. You can make your fort however you want to. Craft new things, and as you progress through the game, you're going to get new recipes and blueprints, and then you can place like statues and class. Basically, where you can, just like pushing the S button, you can go to these tables that bring up your skill loadout, and I think that's kind of cool. And I have a feeling I'm going to lose connection to the server. And then, yep, there we go. Let's see how bad this is. Might end up having to, I hope I don't have to end this stream. But anyway, and then eventually you get a really cool tree that as you feed it loot. Okay. As you feed it loot, the tree will grow, and then you can get rewards, and it ups your, I want to say it even ups your magic find chance and whatnot. And the more rare items that you give it, the greater it, or the faster it'll grow. So it's really neat. But I like stuff like that. I like being able to customize my own stuff, especially if I have the ability. Like if I'm ever in a group or with friends, they can come by and check out my fort. I can go check out other people's forts and see how they decorated it. And you know, I really like that stuff. Give you ideas. It's like, oh, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? What I really want to see is if I'm still going to have access to my champion or beta champion stuff, like some statues of the different classes. That'd be really cool if I did. I didn't see them in my inventory. They used to be in my inventory during the beta. Then I'd have to learn it and yeah, all that kind of stuff. Eventually, I'll also have access to relics. That's also part of the tutorial mission. You'll get access to a relic. One thing I don't obviously like right here is that they put you, despite the fact that there's a waypoint, it doesn't matter if you portal to your waypoint or not, they always put you at the entrance there instead of at the waypoint. That's something I need to talk to them. All right, so I can customize my fort. Sweet. Shared stash. They don't even have an option for any other type of stash. I love it. And I definitely want to use this, or hold on to this, so that way I can give it to a Dusk Mage that I want to create eventually. Dusk Mage is a lot of fun. Fort inventory is empty. Oh, man. Alright, that's a bummer. So I don't have access to my statues anymore. That is a bummer. Alright. Oops. Alright. And it's crazy when you're looking at this how much you can actually get rid of. There are certain things in here you'll be like, oh, can you get rid of that? Yes, you can. Plays from return to inventory. Yep. No. It said return to inventory. And even the scaffolding, but not anything outside of that. I don't like having this dingy stuff in there. Barrels I like to have, but you know, these busted up fences, I don't need all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I'm not going to get into crazy mode with this. I'm just going to clear out this small little area for now, and I'll do the rest of the decorating offline because that's really, really boring to watch, and I don't want to kill you guys with that stuff. So what I will do is start building things that I need to, like Reliquary. I do believe this is for our relics. Enchanter's Altar. I'll put over here.
You have completed a quest.
I have. Go away. Arcanum. So.
You have received a quest.
Oh, that's good. Farms cart. This is where we get to build more of our relics. I forgot what this is. And then workshop. And then I'll do, I think the last thing I had that I wanted to put down was my pet shelter, just for now. And then I'll do the rest later. Oh! These are the statues I was talking about. Those bastards didn't give me my statues from the beta. Fine. So you also have production type of buildings, which I'll put on the other side of my fort. These will help you process wood, metals, and then rocks, so that way you can build other things. I also have these. I don't know exactly what this World Nasher is exactly, or what these other things are as of yet. And you'll eventually, as you defeat bosses, you'll get other things like trophies from them, like say a mask from one of the big baddies. And that was kind of cool. You can place it somewhere. And all those nasty, gnarly trees and even those stones there, I can get rid of them. And it's easy to even place those stones underneath. Like all that stuff that I just put down, I could put those stones and make it like a road underneath all of that without having to them interfere with each other. And you know, things like that are kind of fun. So, nope, wrong one. Okay, so that's for the sharpshooter. This is for the Dusk Mage, but I can't click on it. For the automaton and for the engineer. Okay. So then this must be for the relics. Yep, alright. So here... Oh, okay. Eventually, as part of the quest, or the tutorial, you'll be given enough relics to be able to create one of them, and you'll have one of them on hand. And then you can level them up as you go. So it's really neat how you can do that kind of stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. From Humble Seed, Travail Point, talk to Zaya. Go to the chasm. All right, let's go talk to Zaya first. So what do you guys think so far? I know that this isn't the most exciting streams in the world. You know, I'm definitely want to get familiar with some of these systems, and enough has changed to where it feels a little bit new. But a lot of it is still largely the same. So these loading screens are killing me. What y'all drinking today? See, is it gonna boot me out again? All right. Hey, Zaya.
Hey there. I need your help with something.
Want a
I
sack of
was carrying
seeds?
a sack of luck seeds when we were attacked by goblins. If you can find it for me.
Ah, that's gonna help me get my my tree. Sack of luck seeds from champion monster from a champion monster. During the beta, it would say champion goblin. So now it's just any champion monster. That's nice. I need to go to the chasm. All right. More loading screens. Yes. Go to town, do something that takes 2 seconds, and then go right back to a long-ass loading screen. I am pretty sure that they're going to be fixing this. I can't imagine that these loading screens are going to be like this forever. See, I went back to the waypoint, but it still took me back to the beginning. Bastards. Need to tell them about that. Overall, my biggest beef with the game is still going to be the maps. I was really hoping that they were going to change these up because I really liked the style of maps that were used in Torchlight 2. They weren't random. I'm well aware of this. These are at least random. But I liked the feel of them. They gave me something to explore. These are just, clear the map. Square tile sets, for the most part. Connected by long hallways. I know I said this in my previous video, but it is one thing that honestly really irks me because I thought that they were going to change this for release. And it's not too late, but I can't imagine that they're going to be doing so many major changes like that to this game before launch. Because, let's face it. At this point in time, I'm hoping that I get to keep my character. If they actually wipe progression again, I will probably be pretty upset because I do not want to do this entry area again. And considering the fact that they're still waiting on releasing certain content, I can totally see them doing another character wipe again. But I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. I have done this whole entry area so many times, and typically when that happens, I lose interest real quick. I get it in testing, but now I've paid for it. Now I should be able to keep my progression. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. I'm actually happy to see that people are actually watching this stream this time. I don't typically get people watching it. So, thank you. Thank you for watching it. I don't get anything out of it, but it's just nice to see that people are interested. I just like to share my experiences with other folks. Especially because this is kind of, a first, I say somewhat first experience. Yes, I did beta, but there's enough different right now to make it feel like a first experience. Man, that dude didn't want to die.
Level up.
Oh, thank you. So I guess that's where the reload comes into play. So that's just a kind of a low tier ability, and it takes up a good chunk of my ammunition. So if I'm in a pinch and I really need to get those the ammunition back up again, I can see me needing to use it. But it regenerates pretty quick. I mean, just dodging for a couple seconds, not shooting something just for a little bit, I should be able to get my ammunition back up again. Can't believe that would actually be a useful ability anymore. Once upon a time, yeah. Speaking of ability points, I've got one. Let's pick that up. Do eventually want to get this up again. Oh, I see. Those are abilities. These are abilities that my pets have. That's what these are. Duh. Oh. Okay. Oh, wait. You know what? I did not try that out during the beta. So that's cool. I was always wondering what those were. So dumb. The relic that I like to get is kind of similar to this ability, this Scout's Bones. It does just like Poison Cloud. Very slow, very deliberate, does a lot of damage over time. I like that kind of stuff. It does a little bit of thunder as soon as I cast it. That's nice. Keep getting stuck in there. You glitching? Yeah, you're glitching. I don't like enemies popping up in places that I've already cleared. Come on, rat nest! You guys know what that reminds me of? A little rat nest right there. Oh, what? I can shoot the guns? Ha 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 ha! That's fun. That stupid plague rift boss. They're also enemies. Put a little nasty dome around you. Do that to you. Oh, come on. Aw, too far away. I think these are, these are the champions like bosses? Like yellow health bar ones? Oh, what is that? Oh, is that the seeds? That looks like the seeds. Yay! Okay, so the purple guys are the champions. That's good to know. I don't have to wait for those bosses. Got a new bow. Any good? Poison damage versus ice damage. Critical hit bonus is higher. Immobilize. Okay. But 18% bonus damage to basic attacks. I like that. when I immobilize them. Okay. That's actually one thing that it's been fun about playing Minecraft Dungeons as well with my son is just because something might look good on paper, what paper stats always fail to show is the impact of passives. And so having those discussions, I was like, all right, well, you could change out that sword for this other sword, but let's look at its stats. You know, this one gives, you know, additional damage to bonus that you don't, or I'm sorry, this is additional bonus to damage that you don't see, you know, here, but you might see, you know, but you do see it here. And also you got 2 enchants versus 1 enchant, better enchants too, as opposed to some crappy, you know, common enchants. And he's like, oh, and you know, just kind of seeing him get it and understand it is rewarding in and of itself.
Your life is slipping away.
I want to try to see if I can get him to play Torchlight 2 with me on the Switch. He just likes Minecraft. It's a fun game. Ah, I almost didn't see those materials there. Reminds me of Fortnite. Yay, there's a boss. Where are you at? Oh, over here. Go find you. It's a treasure chest. Fast one. Oh!
Your strength is returned.
Yeah. Well, if I would stop pushing wrong buttons. Oh, wow, slows me down quite a bit. Oh, I need you to stay in place so I can shoot you with my arrows. Oh, they're killing me. Don't go after my kitty cat. You know, if I would stop putting the rain of arrows on top of them, you know, more towards myself, that would be smarter. But nope. I'm gonna derp.
You're close to dying.
Yeah, I know. This guy's not. Looks like he is, but he's not. There we go. Finally learned. Ooh. After all that, you're not even gonna give me a blue. Man. Oh, you son of a bitch. Give me 2. Oh. Give me shields. Like as if I needed shields, really? What? Treasure chests. Hey guys. Want some more purple dudes. How many more do I need? Collect fertile soil from ash trees. Okay. So no more purple dudes. I just need to find trees to harvest. Ooh, shrine. That I can't get yet. Come to me and fall into my AoE. I think Onslaught could use a bit of a damage increase. I mean, not terribly much, but maybe just a little something. Didn't think I would have to dump, you know, all my points into it to make it worthwhile. It's still a fun ability, though. I like how long it lasts. Can't really fault it for, you know, just kind of just being somewhat meh right now. I don't know. I guess I'm complaining just to complain. There's honestly probably nothing wrong with that at all. Oh, sweet. Get to go get my relic. All right. So after this, we should be introduced to a new system called the Relic. Well, not new, but new for y'all. Yes. For those of you watching, you know, if you know someone who's kind of on the fence about this, want to know more about Torchlight 3, you know, share the link. Share the link, you know. I will be posting more videos on my channel. I don't know if I'll be streaming every day, every other day, or whatever, but I will definitely be posting more videos on my channel about Torchlight 3. So you can share the link to my YouTube channel. Again, I'm not monetized. I'm literally just sharing just to share information. So you know, I just like to share my experiences to, especially if there's someone on the fence about something. You know, it's always nice to have kind of a casual gamer's point of view about something, so that way, you know, you're not just seeing some hardcore guy or gal playing and they're just like tearing it up, or they're biased about something in one way, shape, or another. I mean, I'm not being paid to stream this or anything like that, or to produce videos or to review. This is just Horseman playing a game, sharing my thoughts. I would love to, you know, have discussions about it. Give me a cause to research systems or new classes or abilities, and share my experience, you know, because I'm kind of learning this. In a lot of ways, I'm learning the same way you guys are, except, you know, I've already fronted the $30 it costs to gain access to this early access, and that may not be for everybody. It's like, oh man, should I really be paying $30 for an early access title? No, I don't blame you, you know. But I will say though, if I'm on the fence about a game, I don't buy it. Out of ammo. Case in point, Anthem. Case in point, Fallout 76. I was on the fence about those, and I changed my mind, and I'm so glad I did. They are trash. Feels like an ambush when I do that. Kind of wish I was able to make my map bigger though. Can I do it? Oh, I can. Oh, so they changed that. It disappears when you're walking or attacking, but then it reappears when you're standing still. I like that, and I don't like that. I like that because, like, Minecraft Dungeons, I just play with that map up, and it is so distracting. And turning it on and off is not exactly easy. I need to remap that because, I mean, there's so many buttons that would have been better for that, but they decided to map it to the same side that you have to walk if you play on a controller. For those of you who are watching, post a comment. Let me say hi. Tell me what you think of this content so far. And by content, I mean the game, not like my shitty playing.
You are gravely wounded.
I am aware, thank you. You are a tough one. Oh, it's a unique guy. Oh, did I have to kill this guy? The name sounds familiar. Give me something good. Come on, give me something good. Give me at least a blue. Come on. Oh, I see a legendary. No, that was just gold. Ah, you're so trash. Alright. What did I get? Sword. 6.9 defense. Empty enchanting slot. But I'm not enchanting yet, and that actually costs resources that I don't think I have. But I do have a skill point. Let me put this stuff to my pet. So if you didn't watch my first video and don't know much about Torchlight, which I'm assuming if you're here, you already know enough about Torchlight to know that you have a pet. And if you want to, you can send your pet to town. So this is my pet up here. This is Maya. And I can send the pet to town to sell items that I give it. And I like it because you don't get taken out of the action. That's something that always bothered me about Diablo games, because your inventory gets full, and I'm the kind of person that picks up everything, and that's not going to change in this game. I'm still going to pick up everything, no matter what it is. I mean, chances are higher levels, I'm not going to pick up white items, but I just, like in Diablo, I pick up everything because everything gives me a resource. But in this case, I'm going to be picking up everything for a while for the money, because things are very expensive in this game. So it's nice to be able to send my pet home. There goes my kitty, and she'll be back in 2 minutes. In Torchlight 2, and this one too, they actually fight, and I do believe they do in Torchlight 1 as well. But I don't remember to what extent they fought, because I don't remember them being all that great in Torchlight 1. But it was nice to give them different skins and things like that. But in Torchlight 2, you can give them like food, and they'll change their appearance. And it's been a long time since I played Torchlight 1, so that might still be the case in Torchlight 1. You're biggin'. And I gotta run. I don't have a whole lot of area I can run. And there are a lot of bad guys. Yeah, you keep... My pack is too heavy? I have too many potions. Okay. So let me use one and pick it up. There we go. Pick up my loot. Yeah, loot and fight at the same time. What? Some bitches have a lot of health. Which sucks because I don't have a lot of abilities to do a lot of damage to a lot of health. Yes, keep sitting underneath my beautiful arrows.
You have lost your life.
What? Yeah, right here. See, it was expensive just to do that. And I died. Just like that. That dude just like one-shotted me. What I get? Let him get too damn close to me. Go away.
Your cat has arrived.
Oh, thanks. Needed you.
Use quest complete.
Alright, so what do I get? What do I get as a reward? I get what looks like a blueprint.
Came up empty again. Reports of a secret ember deposit under the goblin homeland
What was
is
that?
proving to be foundless. Maybe we have to push further inland? This place reeks of goblins, but there's some strange feeling coming from the very earth itself, and I'm not ready to give up quite yet.
Guess I probably should have got that shrine that's up here too, huh? That might have been helpful. Most boss fights, you also get a pet, but not in this case. A little pet cage. And is that a shrine that I see down there? No, it's just a torch. All right, let's see what I get out of the boss chest.
You can't carry anymore.
Oh, really? Why? Oh, okay. Potions. Can't carry anymore. So I got a fancy sword. Shard blade. Useless for me. I'll take that. 59 health. I'll take that. New hat. I'll take that. And I'll put everything else in my pet. Yes. Oh, does it hurt? Okay. One sec. Child emergency real quick. Just keep an eye on it. Are you on bed? Alright, do I get a hug? Alright. Alright, let's see. Fertile soil from ash trees. Still need to find some ash trees. And I need to go back to town to talk to Sergeant Clive. No problem. I can do that here in a sec. I want to find a tree first. See any trees around here? Come on. That's okay. So I have noticed between the beta and launch, there's the tree, that resources are a lot farther and fewer between. So I kind of wish that there was more resources, or at least they gave you more per resource node. Love you too. Alright. Because things are kind of expensive in your fort. And because of that, you kind of want these, and you shouldn't have to sit here and just do the same areas and farming them over and over and over and over and over again to get enough resources. I mean, yeah, I get it. You know, that's kind of part of what grinding does and whatnot, but the reward isn't that great.
You're dying.
Yeah. Come on. I need them to die. How about that? Ah. There we go. Okay, so I did get a few things that... Let's check out. So you notice I got what look like cards. Those... Basic attacks, fiery bow dealing 200% weapon damage. Are you serious? See? That's lifebound. That's what I'm talking about. So the stats on it are pretty insane. But if I die, then, well, it becomes too bad. It goes bye-bye. So I used... It's no longer lifebound, and I still have this. Is there charges? How many times can I use it? You found a lifebound items. Slightly more powerful. Slightly. 200% weapon damage on basic attacks. That's not a slightly more. That's a good chunk more. But anyway, I also got these things. Bloody Carnage Pet. Consumable enchanting recipe. Use this item to learn a new enchanting recipe for enchanting altar in your fort. How is the game? I'm on the verge of buying it, but I also want Sekiro. Help a brother out if you decide. Alright, so I can't say I've ever played Sekiro. If I'm not mistaken, is that more like a Dark Souls or a stealth kind of game? Because I'm not really into those kind of games. I am an ARPG fanatic. I love ARPGs. Torchlight 3. If you are on the fence about it, I would honestly say wait, okay? Because as it stands right now, I would say it is not worth the $30 for early access. I would wait until it comes out for the launch and then see how it stands at that point in time, because right now it has not been officially launched. Okay, so Sekiro is like a Souls game. Okay, yeah, I have enough stressors in my life and enough things in my life that piss me off. I don't need a game that is intentionally meant to piss me off and throw controllers through my my monitor. So I've been trying to stay away from those types of games. They look great, and I love the story behind them. So that's what I typically do. Is like, oh my god, is that what my bow does? My bow does that. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, so I've been trying to stay away from those games. I did get one of them. Forgot what it was called. I haven't played it in so long. It was very much like a Souls game, but more action, more focused on a story. It wasn't that great, to be honest, but it looked cool. But I died a few times due to just being clunky, and as it should be, because that's just its mechanics. And I suck. That's another thing. It's not that the get good noob is completely appropriate for me when it comes to playing those kind of games. Alright, did I not explore? Oh man, my bow does cool things. So it said my basic attack should do more damage. 31. I have to pay attention. Alright. 31 versus 30. Okay. That's not a basic attack. Is this a basic attack? This is my basic attack. Fire bow dealing 200% weapon damage. This does the same amount of damage. Okay. That's fair. I got hundreds of hours of Torchlight 2. Hell yeah. So, what I was saying just a little while ago, I don't know if you heard me or not, but one of my biggest gripes with Torchlight 2 versus Torchlight 3 is the maps. As you can see, these are just very basic map tiles, and I'm not a big fan of it. So they're a lot better than they were during the alpha, because let me tell you, in the alpha, they were like, no kidding, just squares, right? The squares that look like this, and you go between the squares with this one just long hallway, and that's all your maps were. It was like a grid, and I was just blown away. I was like, oh my god, okay, this is alpha, it's gonna change, it's gonna change. It did change, but not that much. So I'm kind of disappointed to see that it hasn't changed that much. These maps still feel a little bit claustrophobic. But I also, because of all the character wipes that we had and the lack of time that I put into the beta, I didn't get a chance to really test out any of the mid game or end game stuff. So, you know, the dungeons are fun though, and you know they're meant to feel a little claustrophobic, and they do a good job actually. I do like the dungeons, the little cave maps, the fort type maps, the castle type maps. If you're itching for an ARPG, have you tried Wolcen? WOLCEN. It's also on Steam. I have if you look on my channel, I've got a few videos on it. That's actually a lot of fun. It does need some work. They released it prematurely, in my opinion. I did that beta for quite some time, and when they did a complete overhaul on it, I was just blown away. I think they did a great job. I'd say the only thing it is really lacking right now is good endgame content, and that is really the reason why I haven't gone back to it. And also, their abilities needed a bit more balancing, because I mean you're kind of, if you weren't using 1 or 2 or 4 certain abilities, then you you weren't going to be progressing very far. So far, I am liking the changes that they've done from alpha beta to early release. In its earliest stages of development, it was very difficult to play, as it should be, as expected. But I had a lot of issues with Sharpshooter in particular, with how they were doing some of the abilities. And I am very, very, very happy to see that they got rid of one of the abilities that I complained most about. It's not even on here anymore. Where is it? So, this... Okay, if this is the same one, they've moved it, because whatever other ability, it was a tier 1 ability. And it was just like, lob this arrow, and it was super slow, and it had a fairly small AoE radius, and the damage was minimal. I mean, it was crap damage for something that moved that slow. And the only benefit to it was that it applied a dot, applied a burn dot. And that was great, but it wasn't enough to make it like an oh my god awesome ability. So, and as I was saying a little bit earlier about respecking, is that if you already dumped a few points into it, hoping that it would get better with higher amount of points that you dump into it, well, you have to have that many respec points, which were hard to acquire, in order to get rid of that ability. So that means you just end up wasting skill points, and that sucks. Yeah, Wolson, I hope that you like it. I would recommend it. That is a game I would recommend. I do hope, with the caveat that the end game needs work, but it is a lot of fun to get there. You can make some very exciting builds. The thing that I like about it the most is that builds are fairly open, so you're, like, the player, unless you're getting into what they consider end game content and trying to push the limits of difficulty, any build, like, you can get through the story with pretty much any build that you choose, and I like that because you're not stuck to any one thing. It's fun getting into builds that go nuts, but they've made some significant improvements on the game since I haven't played it in a while. And they've added a lot of new items. They've added the unique. They've done a complete overhaul on uniques that way they're actually viable. You would think that uniques would be more powerful, therefore viable in endgame content, but for whatever reason, they weren't. Legendary items were more viable than unique items, and that made a lot of people really upset because there's some really awesome stats that were on them, but they just weren't. They didn't give the character enough oomph to make them viable in higher difficulties. It is very pretty. It is very pretty. They did a great job. Just the intro, like the prologue, gave me goosebumps. They did an amazing job with the story. In my opinion, they did an amazing job with the story. So I hope that's something that you're into too. If you play ARPGs for the story at all, or if it's just straight up endgame. If you're just gonna go like, oh god, I got to get to max level just so I can get into endgame stuff, Wolson is not for you. Not yet. But if you like the story, just like to do some theory crafting, because there's not very many games that I do theory crafting in, but this was definitely one of them. Hence a couple of videos that I have made, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Another one to look out for, it's still in its beta phases, is Last Epoch. That game does not look pretty. They got a lot of work to do with this one. It's still in its fairly early stages, but it has got the most intuitive action, skill, progression I have ever seen in an ARPG. Ever. Better than Diablo 2, better than any ARPG I've ever played. I can't, for the life of me, remember if I paid to get into that beta or not through Steam. You'll have to check it out. It's called Last Epoch. Fantastic game so far. The last time I checked, they were doing like a Chapter 8 beta test, so it's like later on in the game. I had created a shaman that summoned pets, and it was just so much fun. You can tailor your skills, you can level up your skills, and there's so many skills you don't even know what to do with them. But you have a lot of freedom for how you want to build your character. And that one has got a lot of promise. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that full release. One thing I would really like to see is whether or not that Torchlight 3 is going to be coming out for the console. I mean, graphically, this isn't like a crazily complex game graphically. So I can totally see something like this coming out PS4, or even a slightly washed down version on the Switch. It wouldn't need a lot. I mean, I don't know if you've ever played Torchlight 2 on the Switch, but it's amazing. I love it. I probably dumped more hours into Torchlight 2 on the Switch than I did on the PC. And that actually says something. One sec, I need to turn up the fan in my room. I'm hot. I was just gonna say, it's like, at least that guy could just give me a drop. Freaking mimic treasure chest doesn't even drop me treasure. It did, it's just trash. It's funny, I never really see when I level up. How many points do I have? 2! Alright, let's give this some more. Do I want... No, because I want this for sure. But I want more of these abilities. These are cool. These were fun. I definitely want this one. Blink. Do I want a blink ability? I haven't really decided how I want to do that yet. I need to sit down and actually figure out what abilities that I want. Give me that shrine. Haha. It destroys everything. But not a pile of wood. Not a pile of wood. Yeah, I click on everything and pick up everything. Those are resources. We actually need the resources. Yes, I also regret not using my that shrine ability to fight this guy. Let's see, how much damage? Did 82. 34, 31, 31, 31. Got a gun. Let's see what I got. Meh. If I had 2 guns, maybe. I don't even know if I can dual wield guns. Oh. Oh, sell. Okay, I thought it crashed.
Your punctuality pleases me, my daughters. Brawl, report on your progress in Zulrasha.
Nice.
I have dominated the goblin tribes. Their chieftain Whitelord answers to me now. Our assault on the human army starts here.
Very good, Brawl. Very
What is
good.
this?
Sadista, what of the Void Ember?
I am close to cracking the riddle of the Void Ember, Mother. I expect to solve it very soon.
Soon? Insolent child, I need results now! The vessel is useless without the Void Ember.
The voice does not
The
match
gateway
the
to-
character art
I
at
will
all.
tolerate no further disappointments. Do you understand?
Yes, Mother.
I hope you do. For your own sake. Varys, I trust your update will be more promising.
I have narrowed down the location of the gateway to a mountain range in the north. It's only a matter of time before I find the gate, and the vessel along with it.
Excellent.
Vessel.
Sadista, you should follow Varys' example.
I will try, Mother.
See that you do. Now go, my daughters, my dark outlanders. See that my will be made.
Okay. So old Torchlight style cinematics. It's one thing I noticed. The intro cinematic was
Your
not
pet has
present
arrived.
in this release of the game. Are they overhauling it? Because it was pretty interesting. And that was definitely something new. And I kind of wish there was a little bit more context to it. You're still alive? You're walking around. Did I summon you? Are you here to help me? Ah, yeah. Wide load. Alright, so one thing that's different about these boss fights is that once you click that, you can't come back. So even after you defeat him, you can't come back up here. So that would be a good time to make sure that you cleared the entire dungeon, unless you want to go back through it again, which is fine too. I mean, it's just a lot of walking. 35, 35, 35, 38. So despite the 200% increased damage on my basic attacks, my not so basic attack is still doing more damage. Oh! Move. Oddly enough, that his voice is only coming out of one of my speakers. Hey, that skeleton is still trying to get down here. I knew I was going to get hit. Ah. no crush. Whoa, you're gonna get mad. Oh, new abilities. This dude's got a lot of health. So you went after my cat. I was totally walking that direction. Note to self, stay away from cat. Oh, which do I get? Oh yeah, get a pet cage. Hope I get something good. Not like the different colored llama or something like that. You almost did? Alright, this is admittedly pretty easy. Just lots of health. Mechanics on that boss is terribly easy. And I see a nice little orange thing there. Aw, that's just a decoration. Bummer. And the purple was a quest item. That's a bummer. Got a new hat though. One skill level to Ghost Visage that I'm not. One skill to Onslaught. I'll take that. I like that. I don't have a problem with health yet, or not yet. So I got a decorative shield. That means that that's an enchantment recipe. And that means that I will be able to use or display this in my fort now. So that's kind of fun. Let's see what pet I got. Yeah, little Chocowary. His name's Satchel. I think that's fitting. Let's swap him out. Can this game only play with friends in co-op? No. This game actually is flat-out multiplayer. So, right here we have the party screen. So if you are in a party, it'll show up here. You also have your friend list, which I have no idea who this is. Torakusu. I don't know where that came from. Oh, I guess these are my old Steam friends. Oh, nice. I got my Steam friends in here. Sweet, sweet, sweet. But what you can also do is when you're in town, and I can show you real quick after I loot this chest, but when you're in town, you'll have a whole bunch of people near you. And with that being said, I always get the cool swords. It doesn't help me. With that being said, let me go back. There'll be a whole bunch of people near you, and you can form a group there. There's also a chat there, so you can talk to folks here. Let me go to town so I can show you real quick. And you can either just straight up friend them, or you can invite them to a party. So, but as we all know, blind party invites are never the air quote polite thing to do. But the option is there. I don't know how many people you can have in a team or right now in a party, but let me ask. So you can see the difference. Now that I'm in town, you can see that I can invite any number of people to a party or just friend them. So that's kind of cool. You can also do the same thing if you have folks that are in the game. You can invite them to a party. So that's pretty neat too. Hopefully that answers your question, Chris.
These are perfect. Kennick called me a fool, but I knew you'd succeed.
I knew
Where'd
you'd
that old
succeed.
drunk go anyway?
Rare lifebound
Nah.
weapon.
Bring
Okay.
these to the general at once.
Fame.
And tell her what
money.
you saw in the caves. Oh, great. Plant this humble seed in your fort, and it can
Oh,
grow
good.
into
I
a
get to do that.
majestic luck tree. Being magical.
That luck tree is pretty cool.
Let me see those, recruit. Wide load in league with the Netherrim. As outlandish as your claims are, it's
You have
hard to ignore
completed
the
a
proof
quest.
when I'm holding it.
All
in my
right, so I
hands.
just got another.
Maybe I should have listened to you. Unfortunately, the
Okay, so
Netherrim will have
Quest
to wait.
has begun.
Some of my soldiers have gone missing, and I need you to find them.
All right.
We can't take on the Netherrim with our ranks diminished. Bring them back, recruit. Then we will discuss our next move.
Oh, oh, come on. All right, we need better smart loot. I don't like getting blues and then them being something that I cannot use. I mean, I guess I can use it. Can I? I can use it. I wonder how that would work. I can't even imagine how that would work. Okay. All right, let's go to my fort. Now that I have this luck tree, I can show you how that works. And as you feed it, the tree will grow. And the more it grows, the more passive bonuses you get. From what I understand, it all attributes to magic find, things like that. To get loots. So for those of y'all that had recently joined, because I actually see a lot of people watching, I'm kind of impressed. I think this is the most I've ever had anybody watch any of my streams. So thank you for watching. Drop a comment, say hi. This is the enchantment table that you can add enchants to your abilities, or to your equipment. But I don't know how to use it yet. So I have recipes, bonuses, crowd controller, shock builds. Okay, but what if I... Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Goblin Fighter. But I need Magic Essence, which I have no idea how to get yet. Alright, so I'm certain that's going to come later. And I also have the ability, or soon I will have the ability to craft a Relic, which is also good fun. Oops. Alright, so I have these animals. Why it shows 3 of 1 animal. It's kind of weird. Alright, so nobody answered my question down there below as far as how many people can be in a party right now. So I'm sorry I couldn't get an answer to that.
This is a safe place. Traveler, beware. So many lives.
I found an Ember Core. Okay. To view the item in your inventory, press I, then navigate to the Resources tab. I got 27 of them. That's awesome, because that should allow me to craft a Relic. And Bane was the one that I liked before. And I do have enough. So let's look at these. Bane, spread poison with the Relic in numerous ways. I really liked that. Summon a Fury Sword to smash enemies. No, I prefer not to be in melee range. Living Storm, summoning lightning barrages, shocking enemies who get too close and unleashing violent storms. Sounds like my wife. Let's see. Get hit, shock the enemy to call down a lightning strike on them, dealing 100% weapon damage. Ooh, that actually sounds kind of good. Immediately fire electric shockwaves from your location, damaging enemies for 125% weapon damage, leaving them shocked for 8 seconds. Sounds kind of cool too. Causes bleeds. Immediately dealing 100% around you. Causing enemies to bleed. Okay, so that's kind of melee range. Spinning blade around at the target location that hits enemies for 25% weapon damage, and additionally makes them bleed for 25% for 6 seconds. That sounds good too, but I kind of like this electrode. I do like Bane. I have experience with Bane. And the reason why I like it is because you can summon an ancient spider spirit that surges forward doing a hunt. Just like, but you know what? Because of the fact that it is so similar to that rat ball that I can summon, let me try something different this time. I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to craft this one and pray that I don't regret this.
Complete.
So... And then as you use your relics, they get leveled up, which is really cool. And then you can, let's see, select the relic and press. Okay, I'll do that later. So this is my relic. Okay. What is awesome about this is that as you level it up, you get different abilities. These are abilities that you can put down here. So if you have multiple relics, you can only equip one at a time, but you can put these abilities in there, which is good and bad because I kind of wish that all of these were its own separate ability, like Shift 1, Shift 2, Shift 3, Shift 4, because these are all really cool abilities. But I do admit they would probably make you pretty OP, but you can also buff them. Shock chance while activated, increase the damage to localized storm. And each of these they stack too. You can put 10 points into this one, 10 points into this one as you go, as they level up. So it's really neat how that works. But what I need to do right now, I need to put down my luck tree. So I'm going to put down my luck tree. I'm just going to put it in some random spot for now, and I will deal with how pretty it looks later. Because eventually I'm going to make all of this a bit more organized when I'm not trying to stream, because that would be really boring. I will put that right there. Alright, so now that I have this down here, let's go in here, and I'm going to feed it. And the more stuff you feed it, and the more, like, the rarer the items are, the more it will, like, you can see how much it filled up for that, but then when I filled that up, it was a lot more. Did you see that? So common, very, just meh. Green, slightly more, not much more. And what I get here is a 1% to gear luck, which is kind of cool. And eventually you level this thing up, and eventually it'll be this like beautiful pink tree, like cherry blossom tree, which is really pretty. Bam! So this is good and bad. You have the ability to kind of create your own luck, but you also put all your gear to the tree, which means you're not selling it, which means you're just broke all the time. I forgot that I had a stash. I did have one legendary that I got. Cast any adventure. Oh! Reduce reloads cooldown by 1 second. Wait a minute, this is a focus. Legendary. Can I use focuses? Next time I get a gun, I'm going to take this. I can... I feel so dumb. I had no idea that I could use focuses. Is it lifebound? No, it's not. Look at that. Look at those passives. I should be using that. I need to get a gun. Alright. That's what I'm going to be hunting for next. Is I'm going to get a gun. So right here, this is my relic, and then when I push the button, when I push the E button, it'll do its thing. So I want to test it on a bad guy because I've never seen it before. So I really want to see what it's going to do. Alright. Let's go back to my portal. I said go back to my portal. Okay. So for any of you that are watching, any questions, comments, concerns? Anything you would like to know more about? Load screens. I want to test out my Relic. I want to get a gun so I can use this legendary. Because I'm stupid. I should have I should have known better. You know, I've gotten a few guns. Yeah, I could go back to town and do the gambling thing and acquire a gun that way. But let me see. How much money do I have? I have 2,000 gold. I'll wait. My bow is pretty good right now, too. So, E. Okay, kind of cool. These are champions. I mean, it did a pretty good amount of damage, I'd say. I'm not gonna argue with that. Can only meet other players in the city. Yes, you will, just like Path of Exile, you will only see other players in the city. So for those people like me, that's great. For you know, honestly, I mean, if you're playing solo, you don't want other folks taking your kills or resources, especially the resources thing. I mean, anybody can get the resources, but if you're not near, like in the old days during the alpha, if you weren't near them, you wouldn't get the resources, and that tree or the stone or whatever would disappear. You just didn't get it anymore. And that really sucked because, again, fort stuff is not cheap. Like, building new things is not cheap at all when it comes to resources, especially when they start asking for processed materials. You have to, like, smelt some stone in order to make bricks or something like that. And, you know, it requires a lot of resources to do that. And so not being able to get access to those resources either meant that you were just farming around for, you know, aimlessly for a while, because I mean the things that you put in your fort do benefit you. They do add some passive, you know, bonuses to you as you go along. Whether it's like that tree, you know, giving you a little bit of extra luck, or not, you know, that can kind of change how you're playing. And it looks pretty inside your fort. Where's the entrance? Good God, I literally went the worst way possible. That's what I get for talking. I kind of like... I was actually hoping for more of a Path of Exile experience with other players because I do typically like to play alone. It's kind of weird considering that in Diablo 3 I have a clan. I don't get on the game as much as I used to, but then again, nobody does. So in the old days, my clan was very, very, very active. I still didn't play with people all that often. I usually played with the same few people every time, my old World of Warcraft friends. And despite, again, not playing with a lot of people, I also run Facebook pages for certain games like Borderlands 3, you know, in order to do exactly that, having, like, you know, sharing discussions or experiences or party finding for other people, you know, try to provide that outlet for that. So I like to share, just don't like to play with other people. It's weird. Back in the alpha, people were, you could run into people, and out here, and I would frequently, and it would get so incredibly annoying. It's like, oh, you know, the quests were not very well designed back then. I mean, they shouldn't be. It's alpha, so they were very MMO-ish. So you're like, you got to kill X amount of rats, and then, you know, everyone is farming the same amount of rats, and it got kind of annoying because, you know, this is an alpha when there's not a lot of people. I mean, shoot, even their betas were closed. They didn't add a ton of people even in the betas, and we never got a solid answer as to, you know, how busy the servers were going to be. So I like the choices that they made for how they're handling multiplayer. It's very much, you know, it's very much like PoE. But Path of Exile is a good example to take from. I want to get surrounded so I can use my Relic again. Yeah, I'm a bit of a loot whore, so that's why... Oh, here we go. Oh, what is this? I got a new... What is this? I don't know what that was. That was kind of cool! I am stuck. I can't move. What? Killed a champion, and there's no loot. That's some shit. Alright, let's test this again. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. I'm glad I chose this one. Glad I chose that one. The poison one is good. I like it. That spider did so much damage. But it was very much like this. It just went in a straight line, but it was very slow. But it had a very wide AoE radius, which was awesome, and it just did a crippling amount of damage to bad guys. So I had a deep appreciation for that ability. It was great against bosses. Especially bosses who didn't like to move around a lot. Sorry I woke you up. Shoot. Go back to sleep. Die. Alright. Where do I need to go? I need to go to Firebelly. Okay, so you'll see up here that I have some relic points to answer for. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see what I got here. Goblin Legion. I don't use that ability. Don't use that. So let's go to my skills. Go to my relic page. And here you'll see that I can modify this stuff. Critically hit chance while electrode is activated. Critical hit chance. I think that's what they meant to say. Critical hit chance. Increased chance to shock while electrode is activated. Okay. Or I can do increased damage for localized storm, which is good. Cooldown. Always like a good cooldown reduction. Definitely like the damage increase. Cooldown. Damage increase. Yeah, let's go with that. Because I'll be able to use that more often. What can I say about the game? I've been saying a lot about the game. What in particular would you like me to speak to, Bopus? I can say I am having fun with it. I think that as someone who's been a part of the beta, or even the alpha from when it was still Frontiers, I had a lot of issues with it back then. I think that there's been a lot of improvements with the gameplay. I think there's been a lot of improvements with how the game feels, especially the sharpshooter. They have made some incredible improvements with the abilities, and I'm very happy, very happy to see that they. I complained about one skill in particular, and I think they just removed it. If they didn't remove it, because there is one ability that I think might still be it, and that's this one: fire an explosive tip arrow that detonates on impact. If this is I will get it just to see if it's the same one, because I don't think I ever got to level 15. There are skill trees, but they are not as in-depth as they were in Torchlight 2. Anyway, the ability that I'm talking about was something that was in Tier 1. It was this very, or either Tier 1 or Tier 2, can't remember exactly. That was a very slow lob arrow that would explode, and it did it in AoE, but the damage was absolute shite. And the dot that was put on bad guys did not last very long, so it was just like, and by the time that the arrow made it there, the enemies moved. So you had to be really good at positioning, that particular arrow. So I hated using it. The skill trees in this game are disappointing. I liked the balance that they had in Torchlight 2, where it was enough to where you can really pick and choose the kind of abilities that you wanted to use to put together a good build from, I do believe, 3 different tiers, or I'm sorry, not tiers, paths, whereas we really only get 2. Okay? And the abilities that we can choose in there are fairly limited, and you kind of have to dump a bunch of points into one ability in order to unlock the different tiers. So it's not quite as in-depth, and that's why I felt that Torchlight 3 in some regards was kind of a degradation from what made Torchlight 2 good. So I think that they still got a bit of work, but this is early access, so that needs to be taken into consideration. I honestly don't even know if there's going to be any more character wipes. I really hope not. Because, I mean, from the looks of it, they're still going to be releasing content. So if they end up wiping characters again, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be a little grumpy. So, as I've said a couple times before, if you are on the fence about this, like not quite sure, I would maybe follow, you know, come back here every so often. I might be putting out a video or a stream once a week. Because I do play other games, and being a working dad, I don't always sit down and play for long periods of time like this. You know, I have to make sure that I have the ability to do these things. Demands, you know, obligations, but that's okay. I can't sit here all day anyway. Anyway, and see how the game is progressing, see how I'm still enjoying it over, you know, a period of time. And I'll be more than happy to address any concerns or questions that you might have, either with the sharpshooter class. This is the class that I have the most experience with. I also have played the not the Ember Mage, the Dusk Mage in the early alpha and beta builds, and I had a lot of fun with it. I think the Dusk Mage is great. I've played the Engineer for a very short period of time, and I've played the Automaton for not quite as long as any other thing. And as of right now, I like the Engineer the least. So, but I want to give it a shot again because I'm sure they made some significant changes to it. The only reason why I didn't like it, I mean, it was very neat, very unique in the sense of, I mean, I don't think any ARPG has a class quite like it. What I didn't like about it is that it took too long to get, like, for instance, if I want to use this ability, it's just bam, I use it. Whereas in as the Engineer, you have to lay down the track and put your trains and, you know, use your trains. And I don't know how well that really fits now. So I need to try it out again so I can talk more intelligently to it. If I were to compare Torchlight 3 to other games, I would approach Torchlight 3 more casually than I would, say, Diablo 3. I love Diablo 3. A lot of people don't.
Level up.
I like it. I thought they did a really shitty job with it at first. Vanilla was absolutely terrible. The auction house was terrible. When Reaper of Souls came out, that reinvented the game for me. And I have never played a Diablo game to end game and try to do crazy things with it, but the Reaper of Souls expansion has taught me the joy of ARPG in its end game. And now I strive for it. Yay! Unique boss! Or, I'm not really a boss, I guess. Oh man, I am really glad I chose this relic. I think I like it more than the poison one. I'm almost out of my drink.
A trap.
Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Does a good amount of damage. And the cooldown's not that bad. And you can make that cooldown even less. And the damage more. Yes, I like that ability. I like that ability more than these Rain of Arrows. Oh, there's a boss. Hello. Using lightning abilities on a stone baddie. And again, I mean, I guess it can't be any worse than using arrows on it.
You're gravely wounded.
Yeah, I'm aware. Nope. Back off. I do look forward to getting,
Your pack is full.
Oh yeah? No kidding. I do look forward to getting my Heartseeker ability. Does a lot of really good damage, piercing damage, especially on single targets. You are full, new bow. Of course, now that I want a gun, I'm not getting a gun. 14 electric damage. All right, so okay. So this is basically what I have now, but better. And my green one that I have equipped was a lifebound, but I can enchant it if I actually knew how to enchant. I don't know how to get those the essence yet. Ooh, good gloves. What was I even doing in here? Was there a quest in here? I don't think so. I think it was just a random. Oh, got a gun. Sweet. All right, let's try this out. Let's check this out. All right, 14. I was doing 14. That does 18. But this has a 7.2 faster cooldown for Relic active skill. Better luck for gold. And crit chance increases. Which those types of bonuses I'm not going to see on my paper. So hopefully this will be a good move. Ideally, I think I should probably go to and see what I can buy. I think I'll support them and get the game. You know what? Awesome. I did, and I really like. I don't regret it. Let's put it that way. I don't regret supporting them. I don't regret playing this right now in its early stages. I know it can only get better from here, and it's not bad now. Oh, I should say it's not terrible. I mean, it's arguable. It depends on what you're looking for, on what you're looking for in an ARPG. But and that's why I say if you're really on the fence about it, I'd probably wait. But you know what? If this is the kind of thing that you like, based on what you've seen here in this gameplay,
Your pet has returned.
Video, then by all means, I think it's a good choice, and I hope you like it. Demon Hunter was my favorite class in Diablo 3, which was funny because I started off with the Barbarian, and for years before Reaper of Souls came out, all I did was play melee characters. Shoot, in any ARPG, in any game that gave me the choice, I'd always play melee characters. But ever since I played a Demon Hunter, I was like, you know what? Actually, Demon Hunter's, playing ranged is a lot of fun. I played Torchlight 2 and played in the Ember Mage, and oh my god, I had so much fun with the Ember Mage. And I would just stand in one spot and clear out an entire room. I had these like magic fingers, like 5 bolts would come out of my hands and home in on bad guys and just utterly annihilate everything around me, and it was so satisfying. Didn't even need other abilities. I had like, you know what, 3 or 4 other abilities. Didn't need them. Didn't need them. All right. Okay, we got a little bit of a glitch here.
Just who I wanted to see.
Random one-handed weapon. Give me a gun, woman. Give me a better gun. Give me a blue gun. Well, that's better.
I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, you probably will see me soon. Let's see. So I'm doing 18 damage now. Ooh, that was a little bit better.
Gear for coin. Gear for coin.
Oh, you know what? I should have held on to that.
Oh,
I'm stupid. Oh well. If you're wondering why, because I wanted to give all my loot to the tree, but I don't want to buy back my stuff, so because I know I'll get more. All right, what am I doing? Go to. Oh, I still need to go back to Fire Belly. All right. Okay. Back at it, boys. What I need is Fire Shrine all the time. Can I get that? Woo! That looked different. That looked very different. Guess it must have leveled up. Something. Even that's coming down more faster. What's going on? I've been here before? Let me go to well-trodden path. I think I'm dilly-dallying too much. What I would really like to see is some more resources. Can I find some more resources, please? I promise I won't dilly-dally too much more. I want some resources so I can start building stuff in my fort later on. Guns do significantly lower damage with basic attacks. About the same with my regular abilities. Sir Alec. Okay, this is a new boss that I haven't fought before. Whoop, get out of the way. Ooh, I'm stuck. Oh man, I am not doing hardly any damage to this dude. Die! Oh no! At least the cooldown on that lightning is pretty quick, and it's only 5 seconds, and it does some pretty good amount of damage. I'm kind of, not kind of, I am impressed with it. I like it. And I have the ability to level it up some more, do even more damage. And that's what I will focus on. The cooldown's pretty good already as it is. I wanted to do more damage. Give me, alright, ready? Give me something good. No. Give me something good. Nothing. 2 swords. Thank you. Thank you for nothing. 2 swords. Hold on to my stuff. I have 2 relic points. Let me go ahead and level some stuff up. Since I use that ability a lot, I better give it some more love. Alright. Increased chance to shock while electrode is active. Critical chance with electrode. Or I can do more damage on something that I'm using far more often. I'll take that, please. Really? There's no resources? How far am I in this map? Where am I? Way up here? Ten. 10 versus 30. It is a one-handed weapon. Oh, yay! You guys didn't stand a bloody chance. Cheers. Fields of Unrest. Is that where I'm supposed to go? Wow, I'm still here. What level am I? I know with the issues of the server earlier today, I ended up getting to like level 4 before I left the city in the very first like area. I take that back. I mean, I did go to that first intro area. I did that quest once, but I ended up having to do that a couple times because of the server issues. So it's kind of funny. Like I killed the Yapper 3 or 4 times. I got rewards for that very first quest 3 or 4 times. It's like, yes! Already stocking up my inventory. Can't argue with the amount of damage that ability is doing. Dead yet? Alright. Oh man. Trial of Fire. That was actually something that we needed to do for a quest in the beta. Let's check it out. Hopefully there's a boss in here. Hopefully the boss will give me a nice big chest. Hopefully the boss will also give me a pet. I want to see new pets. I like this little guy, but I want one of those little flying dragon things. Such a big presentation to open up that chest, and then out pops this little bullshit white item. It's like, thanks for nothing. Kind of how I felt with like Assassin's Creed Odyssey's ending. I don't know if you've ever played that game, but I absolutely love that game. Dumped like 175 hours into that game, and the ending, even though I got like not quite the best ending, but pretty darn close. Matter of fact, I saw what the best ending would be, and I thought it was worse than the ending that I got, and it was just so cheesy, so short. And I'm like, all that work, and this was the ending. Wow. The ending that I got for one of the DLCs was by far the better ending. So if you're ever thinking about playing that game, whew, I definitely recommend Assassin's Creed Odyssey, especially if you like The Witcher. If you like The Witcher, man, you would love it. Or Skyrim, love it. about to blow you up. That was fun. I got something. I don't know what I just picked up. What did I just pick up? What is this? Goblin Fury. What I just picked up. I don't know what that is. I'm picking up more of that Goblin Fury. 5 Goblin Fury. What is Goblin Fury? You're not explaining this to me. Is it a resource? It is a resource. Collect from goblins and feed to the World Gnasher in Muir Fort. Okay. I know exactly what that is. I don't know what the World Gnasher does yet, but I know what that is. Goblin Hater, 1 ranged weapon. Okay. All right, since there's a lot of people watching now, and I say a lot, for me, yes, 23 people or 22 people, because I'm kind of watching my own stream in order to see the chat. I don't have a second monitor. This is the most that's ever watched one of my streams, but since it's been a while since I explained this, if you decide to get this game and you get something what's called a life-bound item, I thought it was like soul-bound, like from World of Warcraft. That is definitely not the case. So what that means is it is bound to your life. As in, if you die, that item goes bye-bye. I found that out the hard way. I found that out the hard way in the beta. I was almost fully decked out. I had like 3 items. A weapon, some shoulders. Let's see, would this be a good example? Nope. I had some shoulders, a weapon, and I think a hat. That was all life-bound, and I died. And then, without really paying attention, I went back out and tried to fight, and I just got my ass handed to me. I was like, where's my weapon? I'm not shooting anything. I'm not doing anything. What is going on? And then it dawned on me. It's like, oh my god, all those items that I had that were a little bit more special, and I knew because, I mean, life-bound items are a little bit more special than your regular item, and I was like, all of them are gone. So I was like, crap. And I died. Well, when you die, they go bye-bye. So what I was getting at is that you have an ability called Scroll of Unbinding that removes that life-bound enchantment that's on it, but you still keep the stats, which is awesome. So that means that now you don't have to worry about it disappearing if you die. One thing, though, that I thought was weird, though, is that I already used it on an item, my hat that I'm currently using. I used it, and that scroll didn't disappear. But it doesn't say that there's a certain amount of charges on it or anything, so I'm not really sure how that works or if it's a bug or something. I would assume that it's some type of bug. Okay.
No one fight or eat earth. Purple Lady help us kill many humans. We team up. Remember, purple balls with teeth, not food.
Not food. Alright. Whew, that's pretty. I should have used it here. Oh, die, fool. say, really liking the sharpshooter. I'm liking it a lot better than I did in beta. They made some great improvements to it, especially to the abilities. I am digging it. Oh, I'm definitely gonna save my relic ability for the boss. Is that what's coming up right there? Wide load. Wait. Wow. It's almost like everything respawned. See, that's why I thought, okay, so I thought something was weird. Okay. So my map kind of went back and respawned while I'm playing in the same instance. Okay, I hope they change that because that's a lot of repeated content. And I say repeated, in other words, I went and explored more for people who like to clear maps like I do. I like to clear the map, okay? And because of that, now I'm doing this again because I already defeated him. Oh, interesting. Okay.
You are tired.
And despite the fact that I've gotten a bit stronger, more abilities, my damage to his health is still crap. Bosses have a lot of health. Oops. Although these guys weren't in it, those like enchanters weren't in it before, so that is making things a little bit more interesting.
Lord health is low.
Yeah. Alright. Gonna die soon. Is the pet cage still here? It is. Does that mean I get another pet? That'd be nice. If that respawns too, that'd be nice. I guess that would be farmable. If it does indeed gonna continue to respawn this quickly. Lucky. I got a potion. Lucky would mean And also, it's good to farm them for that resource, those Ember Cores. Ember Cores are going to be needed for leveling up your, or if you want to create another, what's it called? Relic. Alright, let's go see. Gonna give me another pet? You did. It looks very similar to the other one I got. So I'm gonna send you home. Give me something good. Give me a blast rifle. 21. That's kind of hard to pass up. Alright, let's see what this does to my paper damage. 26. I'll go ahead and keep the rifle. Alright, well, with that being said, I need to actually move on. Holy moly. I need to get to the next part of the quest. I'm just gonna make a beeline for the next area. I've wasted too much time. And then I turn around and see treasure. Go to Fire Village. Let's go. Ooh, what is that? Oh, is that the... What is that? Ah, the exit. Okay. Wow, yeah, so that area had definitely respawned. Even showed that I hadn't explored that map fairly quickly. Thought something was a little off, but oh well. That? Whoa, wait a minute. Just saw a person. Oh, okay, that's because this is a fort area. Okay, Houston's fort. This is somebody else's fort. I want to go to my fort. I'm gonna go to my fort and feed the tree. And I think come on. Get me to my fort. I think I'm going to give the tree the legendary pocket watch that I just got too. Just to see how much that'll increase that bar from. So that's green. Very little. Little bit. Bam, full. Oh my lord. That was quite a bit. And so since it went up in level, now you can see that now it's blooming. All of that was nothing compared to that one legendary item, that level 4 legendary item. No reason to hold on to it, nothing. And got all that. Nice. Can't argue. This should bring me back to the well-trodden path, and the next zone should be that fire something belly village. Fire belly village. Yeah. See what I need to do here. Now that I think about it, I want to see the map again. See how much longer I have in this act. Oof, these loading times. I know these servers are probably suffering. Yeah, I remember when Wolcen dropped, there was so many issues with its launch. I mean, only 60,000 people were trying to log in at the same time. And I say only, you know, but compared to games, you know, bigger titles like Diablo, that seems like it would not be that much. That people should be, or that developers should be accounting for at least that much, right? They weren't. Especially, I think, based on their numbers that they got during the beta and such, early access, because, I mean, it's not like they did a closed beta. It wasn't just per invite type of thing. I mean, I got into the beta for Wolcen very early. We're talking, I mean, I was in that thing for years before that game finally dropped. And one thing I thought was, you know, really funny is that on the day that it dropped, online games were not stable. Like, just like forget it. You weren't able to do anything. So I think that these guys are kind of facing that too, which I don't know why, because Torchlight is definitely a much more well-known game. Obviously, this is their third title. There's a reason why they have 3 titles. Run. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream a quits after I defeat this guy. See if I get some good loot. It's definitely getting late. I think I've been at this now for a few hours, so relax a little bit, enjoy my drink, get some water, probably likely go to bed. I don't know yet. Did I get any good loot? Nope, of course not. But if you came on and you enjoyed what you saw, please throw it a like. If you had any questions, comments, or concerns, please, put them in the comment section below. I hope that this streaming session was enough to help you either decide for or against the game. Because, I mean, I certainly, I would absolutely love to support the developer. I would absolutely love to say, you know what, I mean, this is great. I think you should support every game that you see. But you know what, that's not the case. Everyone needs an informed decision. And sometimes you might find out that, wow, I really thought that this was going to be great, but it turned out not to be the case. And that's, to me, I think that's personally, fine. I'd rather you say, after watching Horseman, streaming this, maybe it's not quite what I was looking for, and you save your money, and but at the same time, if you're on the fence and you saw the stream, you're like, you know what, this is actually pretty cool. I wouldn't mind participating in it myself. Get into that early access, provide feedback, and they listen to feedback. Okay, I mean, again, some of the things that I had bitched about during the beta are fixed. Okay, one of the 2 big things are how quickly the ammo refills. That was a huge issue for me. I mean, sharpshooter abilities were useless. I had to stock up on non-sharpshooter abilities because I was always running out of ammo, and it would not refill for nothing. They listened to feedback. Okay. But anyway, I hope this video definitely did help. And come back for more. I will be posting more. I don't know how often I'll be streaming. I'm going to at least try to stream once a week. If not, you'll definitely at least see a video posted once a week. But again, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all later. Horseman out.